Hello, this is Jeff at the Kaddie Shack. Today we're going to talk about air cleaners. It looks like EMPI has made a change to the air cleaners that they're producing now, and we just wanted to kind of go over that with you and show you the differences. This is the original style one they've been using for a lot of years. So you'll notice, it's got the reusable gauze element here, which we like. We talked about that in the other video. But it's got a galvanized base and a chrome lid, and it's kind of cool. I've always kind of thought, well, you would think if they would do, the chrome lid, that they would do the chrome base too. So the newer ones now are coming with the chrome lid, but they're also coming with a chrome base. Now, when you take these apart, they're even they're a little bit different on the inside actually too. And I don't know if you can't really see it. There's about maybe an eighth of an inch of difference in height, so it's not going to make a big major difference for you. But and there's a difference structurally here. If you measure these, which I've done, and you weigh them, which I've done, the new ones are a little bit thinner. So maybe they're trying to save a little bit of cost there. But they do seem to be just as rigid and just as sturdy as the original ones. So I think they're a pretty good move here. So put this thing back together real quick, and we'll get into the original air cleaners. Now, the original ones, they were produced in a it was a galvanized finish. We powder coat them to protect them, and they get all rusty and stuff when they're galvanized. So we powder coat them in a metallic finish. Now, the original logos, you'll see, can you see that one? Yeah, had the Shield logo on it. Now, the interesting thing about that is that when you install them on your car, the Shield logo points, it's like upside down in the car. So it's somebody probably got in trouble over that. They should have flipped it around. These are the original ones. They made a lot of these. You'll see these from time to time. This is a pretty good example of them with the cages and all that stuff. Later on, they went to one with what we call the big logo. You see the big logo? Yeah. Okay. So that's a big logo set. They actually flipped the logo around so it's in the correct orientation. Cool. When they did that. And it's pretty neat. So when you take these apart, well, we've got a reusable filter in here, an element. I'll stick that there. Some of the original ones had the breather tube. This is the original factory style breather tube. They had it in there with the little snoot that went over. When you put our high flow kits on, or when you put the air cleaner brackets on, it's still fine. They still work great. Some of the later model ones, they had just a little tube that stuck out right here. I don't have one of those handy, but they had a little tube that stuck out right here. Instead of having all of this other contraption that looks like it was welded by a 7-year-old, they had just a little tube that you put your breather hose on if you wanted to use that. What we use is just the standard, you know what they are. The oil breather hoses for your valve covers. We'll drill a hole if you need one, and just drill a hole in the base and put it in. We'd like to take the O-ring out. We use a little sealant, a little Loctite that thing in so it doesn't wiggle out. Air cleaner elements, I guess. Well, let's check this out. Here, if you stand the two together, you can see that the older style one is a little shorter than the newer style one. See that? And that actually helps in the earlier cars. They fit a little bit better. The later ones that they're currently using still fit fine, but you got to kind of rotate them in there, and it's just barely clear, especially in early cars. And one other thing, check it out. They've changed air cleaner brackets. Let's check this out real quick too. Let's start with the original bracket. We'll go from that. The original brackets, this is an original Kadron bracket. And they came with a nut. It's actually an acorn nut. I don't have one on this one, but they came with a little sleeve on it like that. You see the sleeve? And what that sleeve did is it went down there. When you put the nut on, you sandwich the lid in there, and you don't get... Ooh, let me see if I can get a good shot of that. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a little indentation where the lid was. Well, when this nut snugs down, you keep snugging it down because it loosens up and it gets tighter and tighter. Eventually, that'll bow, and you've seen them. Go look at your air cleaners. you'll see they have a little bow right there. So it was kind of neat that they put that little sleeve in there. Maybe we'll start doing that too. Maybe we'll make some sleeves or something at some point. And then that sandwiched it in there so the air cleaner lid was right here. And it all fit perfectly and it didn't cause it to collapse. So very rarely will you see these. I've got a box of them, but you don't see them very often anymore. Later on, you'll see that since these air cleaners are taller, you had to get a taller air cleaner mount. And this is what they've used for the last, I don't know, maybe 25 years, 20 years, something, I don't know, whatever it is. And so these are the mounts that they've used for the taller air cleaner. They still use this mount, but it's a little different now. And actually we have, what we've decided, and what we like to do is we like to replace this washer. We've talked about it in other videos. We like to replace this washer with the EPDM seal. And when you snug that seal down, it actually grips the wing nut, so it keeps it from falling off. You don't have to tighten the nut as much. And maybe some of you have had air cleaners lids fall off and get lost, and that's why. Use the EPDM seal instead of the washer. But this one's got we included a seal and a washer. This is the newer style one. So it looks like EMPI has, let me get you a close up of that one. Can you see those? Yeah. Like, they're just different, man. They're different. This is definitely heavier gauge steel. This is a little lighter gauge, and they've thinned this down a bunch. It looks like they've cast it differently. These, even the original ones, well, you can't even see it on this, but that's a bolt that they just welded to this stem thing, right? And the same thing with the later ones, they just didn't weld it all the way around. See that? You got a tack weld in there. Okay, it's a bolt. Well, it looks like they went with a stud. This one here is not even a bolt. It's welded from the backside. It's a stud. And from what we're seeing now, these are a lot straighter. Sometimes you'll see these come in, the I guess the middle ones, early late ones, whatever. They'll come in, and these bolts will be welded at an angle, so I got to throw them away. Whereas this, all the ones we've seen so far are welded perfectly straight, so kind of neat. Anyway, I just thought maybe we'd share that with you. Oh, we still have the elements available for if you want to use a paper style element, just throw it away instead of washing it and cleaning it. We still have those available only for the original style ones or for our vintage style air cleaners that we actually make here. So anyway, that's your run through. So that's kind of all about air cleaners, what I want to talk about today. So hope you enjoyed the show. Go to CaddieShack.com. Give us a call if you need some parts, some Kadron parts, whatever parts. We're here for you. Thank you, guys.